Hello and welcome back to the channel, folks. HeirofCarthage here, and I've got a great replay for you today. This one's coming from Precipitous Nix, who sent me this replay, and this was a ladder match that he had against ODM Showtime, who he felt like was a better, more experienced player than him. He decided to play as Cathay. That is a bit scary when it comes to domination mode, because Cathay, they're not completely useless in this mode, but it's a little bit rougher for him because it's harder to take advantage of their yin and yang. They do have some, nice features, though, like you can see just how many units he can pack in here, because Cathay does have a number of fairly cheap units, so that's an advantage. And we're going to take a look. I just wanted you to see the armies. Now, remember, this is domination mode. That means the army on top is what both these players are going to start with, and then the army on the bottom is where they can call reinforcements from as time goes on. So let's load up this replay. You can see he has a sky junk rather than bringing a hero or a lord to start with. And all that saving of money allows him to field a much larger force early on in this, whereas Slaanesh has gone with Nakari, which is very fast, and they've got Heart Seekers and Seekers, which all do heavy damage, but very limited numbers because of their cost. So they're very fast, and they do very heavy damage. So clearly, Slaanesh is kind of hoping to do a bit of picking and skirmishing here early. And now the Sky Junk is going to be an interesting one. It is kind of like a long-range, like rocket battery almost. Slaanesh doesn't have an answer to the Sky Junk because Slaanesh can only bring Furies. Now, if Slaanesh does bring Furies, they can answer the Sky Junk, but outside of that, without any ability to skirmish, they're in trouble. And the Sky Junk's just going to be able to fire away, and it will eventually do some damage. Now, I kind of called this unit a meme the other day, and it kind of is in some ways, though it does have certain uses that it can take care of here. But let's just kind of keep an eye on what it's doing. I actually saw some of his guns firing there. Yeah, see, it's got the rocket battery there in the front of it, and then the gunners up in there can fire as well. So yeah, Cathay is going to start splitting up, moving to the capture points. It takes 2 minutes before you can actually get a capture point. Go ahead and fast forward a bit because both the players are just positioning, and you've already seen their armies. Now Slaanesh is already calling in some of their reinforcements. It's going to be Marauders. Now I love Marauders in domination mode. They're going against low armor. There are a lot of bodies, and they're pretty cheap, and they are pretty darn good against infantry, so I like this pick. See Nakari here, let you get him close up. And now they're going to start moving towards the capture points. You can see the Sky Junk is popping some shots at him, and we'll see what the Sky Junk decides to do with its rockets. The best target for the rockets would definitely be Marauders. So we'll see how it does, and we can see Cathay lining up here. There's some pretty good yin and yang harmony going on here too, which puts significant leadership and melee defense buffs for melee units, and it puts good reload buffs and leadership buffs for the range units. And those Iron Hail Gunners are very short range. They do tremendous damage over that short range. So they're basically shotguns, like breech loading, or not breech loading, muzzle loading shotguns. So looks like Cathay is going to be able to go and contest point 1 successfully. Look at this, Slaanesh here getting into the back lines with those fast movers, maybe hoping to pick off reinforcements. But we'll see. That right here, Cathay's just got so many bodies on this capture point. We'll see what happens. That is a nice slicing shards there, but you can see that already 1 unit of Marauders lost. But look at this, the Seekers of Slaanesh heading into the Iron Hail Gunners. That is going to be nothing but loss for Cathay. Seekers and Heart Seekers are insanely good in melee. They cause a lot of damage. See, the Sky Junk already has 66 kills. That's pretty impressive. I don't know how... Oh, the Furies came in to try and attack it, but some Longbow Riders came in to defend it. Now, Longbow Riders are going to be very good against low armor on the charge. They don't want to stick around in a fight for a long time, but the Longbow Riders are going to be very capable at dishing out damage against unarmored targets on the charge. So a very nice pick there. I like the Long Marauders because you definitely need to support some of these units. And Long Marauders give Cathay some very much needed mobility. Look at this, more, oh, these are the Heart Seekers. Yeah, Heart Seekers are brutal. And when they charge from the rear, I'm pretty sure they get even extra bonus. Maybe it's just Demonettes, I could be wrong, but you definitely don't want to be getting rear charged by Slaanesh, and that's for multiple reasons. Got 110 kills on the Sky Junk already. It's hovering very close over the battlefield, and maybe that tight grouping of rockets is helping it do its damage. I want to say it has some bombs and stuff it can drop as well. Oh yeah, look at that. Just point blank annihilation, 128. Holy cow. So some of their units are being sacrificed, but Cathay is just winning by weight of bodies there. And then they've got this second capture point. Slaanesh is going to make a move for point 3. It's a nice start here for Cathay. Nice start indeed. I like how that Sky Junk is supporting. Whew. That's some pretty good damage against Nakari. If those Iron Hail Gunners could get any shots on Nakari, they would do very well, but it's going to be difficult. Slaanesh just has so much speed. These Heart Seekers are going to be brutal on the charge. Now, how they've Peasant Spearmen, though, going to be a very poor target for the Heart Seekers because they have very low armor. And this anti-large from the Peasant Spears, yes, they'll do a ton of damage and get a lot of kills. They won't trade all that well. Look at this, the Furies are back after the Sky Junk. The Long Marauders are going to be needed to help clean it out. It looks like they were busy elsewhere for a few moments, so I'm assuming, yeah, the Furies are going to go leave the Sky Junk alone. Look at that, 158 kills, double chevron. That is impressive. Yeah, so the Long Marauders are there. They're going to be keeping the Sky Junk safe. Some of these FA units are now moving to point 2 from point 1. And that is going to be a capture on point 3 by Nakari. Let's see what goes down here. Nakari is going to be infinitely better in melee than all these troops, but it's just numbers game at the moment. There's some Jade Lancers as well, so some mobility here for Cathay. Still pretty good yin-yang going on here. The Sky Junk is providing the yin-yang balance right here to these melee units. If it stays nearby, it's going to do very well. There's a lot of movement on the Sky Junk too, so it looks like he's very actively microing. It's not just sitting way back in the back, shooting from afar, kind of getting right up into the combat. Yep, there's another volley of rockets coming out into the Seekers. And let's see, Slaanesh has brought in some Fiends of Slaanesh. This is a nice armor-piercing unit, but again, they're going to get kind of just bottled up in a whole bunch of Peasant Spears. Peasant Spears with the Yin and Yang harmony are going to be pretty darn effective for their costs. It doesn't mean they're going to be like sitting there winning every fight, but they'll trade decently. Here comes some Demonettes now, though. Demonettes are going to... They're anti-armor, but still, they are going to absolutely just face stomp Cathay infantry without support. But I would imagine the Sky Junk is going to get after those Demonettes. That is a pretty ripe target there. You can see the Longma still here to protect the Sky Junk. Let's see what's coming in here. We got some Jade Warrior crossbows. If the crossbows can stay clear of any Seekers or Heart Seekers, then I imagine they are going to cause some tremendous damage. Right now, with Cathay out to a commanding lead over Slaanesh, and Slaanesh just doesn't have a lot of answers at the moment. They're throwing bodies here at the middle, and it is not going well. Almost feel like maybe they ought to change locations. Let's see here comes some Hell Scourges, and here comes some Hell Striders. There's a Slicing Shards, didn't quite connect. It did get a piece of the Jade Warrior with Halberds. Look at that, 210 kills, triple chevrons. That's 3.5 chevrons it's on right now. Great Longma Lighters charged down, and now they're probably stuck, but they did manage to bottle in a whole heck of a bunch of Seekers and other units here. And the Sky Junk just cleaned up a bunch of kills on them as well. And then the Halberds showed up, so that's actually going to be a great fight for Cathay. Yeah, the Sky Junk just picked up 20 kills in those last couple volleys. So Cathay just continues to win on sheer body count here. And look at all these Jade Warrior crossbows. These guys can get down here and unleash on Nakari. They will melt Nakari. He has no armor. However, he could just pull through and come attack them, so they're going to need some protection. Still an impressive performance here so far from Cathay. And Slaanesh is really struggling. And then as they lose all those units, there's just not enough money to keep bringing in everything as far as reinforcements. There's an Allurus that was brought in here. Maybe just for the capturing power. She does have Pendulum. Pendulum is a really good spell. So Pendulum is there. Let's see whether or not it gets used. Oh yeah, here's the Jade Warrior crossbows. So they have now started coming to range. Oh yeah, that Pendulum used on the crossbows. Very nice use of it. The Long Marauders are here to help protect the crossbows. There were more units of them earlier. I thought there was 3 units. I don't know where the other one went. May have gotten killed. Let's see whether or not they can get after Nakari with those cross. Oh my gosh, look at the damage that just came off that Sky Junk into those Hell Scourges. Holy cow, I think I have Totally misunderstood how much damage this unit can do. That is insane. Sky Junk is absolutely on fire. There's some Demonettes spawning in the back. More Seekers here. The crossbows now are going to become a problem. Slaanesh is going to want to get rid of them. The Long Marauders can provide them some protection, though. So this is definitely going to be a problem for Slaanesh with low armor. Having all these crossbows around. Crossbows deal high damage. It's not really great armor-piercing damage, but it's pretty solid damage. Here comes a unit of Hellstriders with the Scourges. You can see how much they do. Even this very small unit took off a quarter of the hit points. The Long Marauders are going to be able to pretty quickly drive them out of there because there's no armor on the Hellstriders, and the Hellstriders with Hell Scourges. So those units aren't going to be able to stand up. Again, look at this. A very small unit darn near killed that Jade Warrior crossbowman on the charge. Slaanesh is just brutal on the charge. Absolutely brutal. Here comes some Seekers. They're probably looking for those crossbows too. The score, though, is just insurmountable at this point, and I didn't ever think I'd be saying this, but the MVP is obviously the Sky Junk. This thing has 330 kills and has just gotten a tremendous amount of work done. It definitely needs its Long Marauders for support right now. I don't know if they'll be able to make it up there, though, because they're engaged by a bunch of Seekers. So I don't know if the Sky Junk is going to survive this or not. It's definitely not a good melee platform. Yeah, there's really, I mean, short of a triple cap here, there is no way that Slaanesh can come back. Yeah, the Long Marauders somehow managed to get free from that. They're going to clear off the Sky Junk yet again. Those Long Marauders are going to clean house on Furies. They're just not going to be any good. I don't know what that sound effect is right now. It's like something going on with the Furies. Here comes what could be a capture, though. Slaanesh on point 2, though it's going very, very slowly. And it won't stop here entirely because Cathay still has 1 capture point. It is being contested, so it looks like Slaanesh is trying for a triple cap, but there's too many Peasant Spears here, and despite these Heart Seekers and stuff running in, they're just not going to be able to cut through those Spearmen fast enough. So this is definitely going to be a Cathay victory with a Sky Junk with 342 kills and 5.25 chevrons. It's just absolutely insane. I guess I need to stop making fun of the Sky Junk and just figure out how to use it better. That was impressive, folks, and I really appreciate Precipitous Nick sending me this. I would have never expected to see a Sky Junk perform at this kind of value. That is obscene. 5,286 gold value in that battle. That is just absolutely ludicrous and amazing. So well played there. Absolutely well played on that. These Iron Hail Gunners, look, that one got a couple shots. Let's take a look at Nakari, though, there, too. Look at all those kills. But that Sky Junk just outperformed Nakari. Just to give you an idea, Nakari is extremely good in combat. And these Heart Seekers are really cool units, too. Look at how many kills they got, but look at the value. They were going after cheap units the whole time. And this particular battle isn't always about value, right? The domination value. I like looking at it just for fun. But domination doesn't have to be about value because you win on the tickets. Take a look at some of the other units. We never brought in the Dragon-Blooded Lord here, but the Long Marauders did a decent job of protecting that Sky Junk. I thought that was well played. And honestly, none of the units really did a ton in terms of any value. Just the Meme Junk, the Sky Junk did it. Let's take a look at the Slaaneshi Reinforcement. These Fiends got a lot of kills, but again, low value. Same thing with the Demonettes. Again, does this mean these units were terrible? No, it just means that they were fighting a bunch of fairly cheap units, so they're not going to show up with a bunch of huge gold value. But you can see that they were getting a whole lot of kills. So a very fun battle there. Like I said, appreciate both players for playing that one. Appreciate Nix for sending it in. Changed my mind about the Sky Junks, and now I got more research to do on that. So definitely appreciate that one. HeirofCarthage signing out for now. I'll see you all soon with some more content in Total War Warhammer 3.